And today we are back for a new Division 2 video. Today we're going over a PvP build that is probably one of my personal favorite and most fun to use in the game, along with the fact that it performs very well. Before we get into the video, I just want to quickly apologize for the fact that I haven't uploaded in the past week. A lot of personal stuff going on, like all this college application stuff, right? So not necessarily YouTube has been my first priority, so I want to quickly apologize for that. I know it's been like a week since I've gotten you guys a video, but hopefully from here we can go back to the usual schedule where I get an upload out for you every 3 days. But other than that, let's just get straight into the video. Starting off, so this is a Ridgeway's Pride bleed build. This is a pretty common build, at least it used to be common before Double Companion took over. This is a really powerful build that comes with some decent survivability in some situations, along with the fact that you get some really good DPS output. This is mainly for PvP, but if you want to, you could use this in PvE. And actually, I do find it to be a lot of fun, especially using the Dark Zone. So if you're someone who's struggling in the Dark Zone and you want something that can blend in with PvE and PvP at the same time, this build is exactly for you. I have covered this build before on the channel, but I made some changes to it with some viewer recommendations. But yeah, as I didn't have everything exactly to how I wanted it to be, this build is a lot more competitive now, and it performs a lot better than the one I showed previously. But just getting started, let's go off into the specialization. So I'm using the Gunner specialization. Main reason I'm using this, 10% armor on kill is pretty nice, especially for PvE and especially in the Dark Zone. But for Conflict, you're not really going to get much out of that. The extra rate of fire on kills is really nice. Every 5th reload being faster is really nice, especially with my secondary weapon is going to be an LMG. I will get back into that soon. And along with that, the Banshee Pulse is a really nice option if you want to run that. It's pretty good for both PvE and PvP, so you have that as an option. It's really good for getting enemies out of cover and disorienting them. And along with that, getting bonus armor when applying an armor plate is also really nice. There's just a lot of bonuses. You get extra weapon handling when standing still. There's just so many bonuses with the Gunner specialization, and I love it so much. For the grenades, I'm just running the riot foam grenades. It's just good for CC and overall forcing enemies out of cover. You're not really good at using it all that much, more in PvE than PvP, but it's still really good to have. Now, going off into the weapons, you do have a lot of options here. So, if I were just going to get started off, I am using the FAMAS. So, there are some other options here if you don't want to run the FAMAS. You can use the Eagle Bear, the St. Elmo's engine. There's all these great options for you to use, the Bighorn, right? But the reason why I'm using the FAMAS, I personally just like the feel of the weapon more. I could use the St. Elmo's engine. I probably will use it for the actual gameplay for the video, because the St. Elmo's is just that good. But going off to why I'm running the FAMAS, it comes with 900 RPM, some decent base damage, and I can get a 50 round mag, which is really nice. I roll damage targets out of cover on here, and I have Strained as my talent. You can run Optimist and you can run Sadist. I would recommend Sadist with this build, as it applies bleed further away. If you get more consistent kills, but the main reason you're running it is for that extra bonus damage to bleeding enemies. It gives you 20% bonus damage, which is pretty nice, especially when considering the most fights you're going to be taking are going to be closer up with enemies, which is where this weapon shines the most. I'm running a 5% crit hit chance scope, 5% crit hit chance underbarrel laser. I am running a 5% crit hit chance muzzle, and I'm running that 20 round mag. Like I said, you could run the St. Elmo's engine. The way to get this exotic AR, currently as of right now, is in the seasoned rewards track. I do believe Ubisoft just put a post out for the new update, weekly update, that should be coming out, if I'm correct, on Tuesday, which is tomorrow. As of today, it's the 31st. I'm recording this. So on August 1st, I believe that the St. Elmo's engine should be in the open loot pool now, which is pretty interesting, but only once you get the blueprint. And the blueprint you get from Tier 91 of the Season's Rewards track. This is one of the few exotics, like the Sanctum Imperium, where you can re-roll the attribute. So once you have the blueprint, you go over to your crafting station. If you go to reforge your weapon, basically, you can roll any attribute you want onto it, like damage to armor. I have damage to targets out of cover. I got really lucky with a maxed out one. And you can do that once you get the blueprint. Make sure to favorite the weapon so you don't accidentally destroy it, and then you gotta go farm a targeted loot for it. Just make sure you don't delete your exotics. But the main reason why, there's two main reasons why you're running this exotic. Has pretty good RPM at 850 with similar damage to the FAMAS, and it comes with a 70 round mag due to one of the attachments. But on top of that, the talent Actum Est, basically once you reach 100 stacks, so 100 shots you land on targets or enemies, you get a whole magazine of shock ammo. So that's 70 shock bullets you're going to have, which is really nice. It's super annoying in PvP, which is why I'm probably going to be making a Hasbro build soon enough to show you guys a way to counter like the St. Elmo's engine in conflict. But with the attachments on this thing, this really makes the weapon as powerful as it is. If anything, I would say argue it's more powerful than the actual talent. You get 20% crit hit damage, that 30 round mag extra, 20% weapon handling, so the thing feels like smooth like butter, and you get 20% crit hit chance. You will never not be hitting your crits with this build. You are always going to be just dominating all of your matches. This AR is extremely good. The FAMAS is a really good option if you don't have the St. Elmo's engine, but overall, if you have it, run it. It's really the best weapon in the game right now, without a doubt. Going off next, I am using the Carnage. This is the named Negev LMG. I don't think it is a Dark Zone exclusive or PvP exclusive, but you can get it from named item caches, and I believe, if I'm correct, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this on the comments below, that it is an LMG targeted loot. So going off into the weapon, it has pretty low base damage, which might be a concern, but that's not the reason why you're running this weapon. You're running this weapon because it has a 100 round mag base, which is really nice, and it comes with really high RPM. It actually has the same base RPM as the St. Elmo's engine, but once we go into the attachments, I'll explain why it has a higher one. So you get that 15% LMG damage. Every LMG will come with 12% damage to targets out of cover, and I rolled damage to armor on here, which is the best overall attribute you can get for any LMG, since that damage to targets out of cover is already for the core attribute. So it comes with the talent Perfect Sadist. So regular Sadist will basically give you 20% extra weapon damage to bleeding enemies, but with Perfect Sadist we get extra 5%, dealing to a total of 25% weapon damage to bleeding enemies, which all your enemies are going to be bleeding, so you're good. After 3 kills, applies bleed to the next enemy hit. You're always going to bleed like procced, so you're not going to need to worry about this. With the mods, I am running a 5% crit hit chance scope. I am running a 5% rate of fire belt slot. So basically, this is going to allow me to boost my rate of fire so I can get higher DPS, higher overall damage, and especially with that extra 25% weapon damage to bleeding enemies, we're going to be melting people really quick. I have a 5% crit hit chance short grip, and then I have a 5% crit hit chance muzzle brake. Overall, this LMG is pretty good. This is one of the few times I would suggest running this. There are some other options. For example, one of my favorite options to run is the Grudge SMG. I did run this in my last video, but you don't need to run this really. It does have higher base damage, and it does have a higher RPM with a 50 round mag, so your mag is half as big. You get more consistent crit hit chance, and you get I have damage to armor on mine. That's what it came with, and it comes with the talent Perfect Vindictive. Killing an enemy with a status effect applied on you applies you and all allies within 20 meters, 18% crit hit chance, and 18% crit hit damage for the next 20 seconds. So this is really good for group play. I would suggest if you're in the Dark Zone with a group of friends, I would suggest probably running the Grudge instead of the Carnage. But just for conflict alone, as that's what the gameplay I'm going to be showing you, I would recommend running Carnage. I got 5% crit hit damage on here, 20 extra rounds, 5% crit hit chance, and then 5% crit hit damage. You can get this from SMG targeted loot or named item caches. It is not a Dark Zone exclusive, so this is a pretty nice SMG to get your hands on. Going off onto the sidearm, I am using the named Orbit Revolver. This is a Dark Zone and PvP exclusive, but you can get it from named item caches. You get 15% weapon damage and that 10% damage to targets out of cover. I have another one with damage to armor right here, but overall, damage to targets out of cover is just better, in my personal opinion. Going off onto the talent, this is the main reason you're running it. Perfect Finisher. Swapping from this weapon within 10 seconds of killing an enemy grants 35% crit hit chance and 40% crit hit damage for the next 15 seconds. You're already maxed out on crit hit chance with this build, and I'll explain that in a bit. But 40% crit hit damage is the main reason you're going for it. So once you down an enemy real quick, they got that bleed on them, just make sure you quickly tap them with a revolver, and then go on your merry way. Attachments are not going to really matter for this. I don't really have any good attachments for my revolvers, so I just put like whatever the hell I want on there. If you really do care more about skill tiers, I recommend running the TDI card custom, which is another PvP and Dark Zone exclusive, which gives you that extra skill tier while you were holding it, but I don't think that's necessarily be necessary. I think that the Orbit is the best weapon to run here. My personal opinion, though. Going off onto the mask. I am using a Fenris mask, which for the one piece bonus gives me 10% assault rifle damage. Basically, we go into here. I have a red core on here for 15% weapon damage. I have a double crit rolled onto here, and I have a 10.8% crit hit damage mod. Just farm Fenris targeted loot. It'll always roll with a red core, so as long as you can get one crit roll onto here, you can just roll the other one from your library and put whatever mod you want. Going off next to the chest piece, this is the RIDGEWAY'S Pride. So basically, with this exotic, you get it from the summit, from opening these crates. You got to find these keys in between certain floors. I will leave a tutorial in the link in the description below for how to get this exotic chest piece. And overall, it's a really good chest piece to have. It's not necessarily the best. It is kind of niche. There's only certain builds you can run it with. But with the builds you can run it with, it is super strong. I really like this chest piece a lot. It's super fun to play with. It comes with 15% weapon damage. You got 6% crit hit chance. Then you got 12% crit hit damage. So you got double crit on here, which is nice. And I have a 10.9% crit hit damage mod. You can roll crit chance or whatever. You're not going to need crit chance with this build because your St. Elmo's engine takes care of that for you. And then I am running a Cheska backpack, which I'll get into later. So you get an extra 10% crit hit chance. Going on to the talent, this is the main reason you're running it for. Bleeding Edge. Shooting enemies within 15 meters, which is a pretty far distance actually. You'll close that distance very easily. Applies bleed to the target. Repair 3 to 48% of your armor per second for every enemy that's bleeding within 15 meters. So repairing strength, we go down here to the bottom of the talent tab. So for one enemy, you get 3% armor regen basically. For 2, you get 6%, so it doubles there. It'll double again at 3, so you get 12%. It'll go to 4%. It'll go to 24%. So every second you'll get a quarter of your armor back, which is really nice. I have 1.3 million armor on the build, which I do think is the sweet spot generally for a lot of conflict builds. I say 1.3 or 1.5 million is typically where you want to be. I think 1.3 million just overall benefits your damage more, but that's just my personal opinion. You do sacrifice some survivability, but for some insane overall DPS output. And then you're not going to be encountering 5 players, whether you're in the Dark Zone or in conflict at the same time. So basically, the most you can really get out of this build in most situations will be 24% of your armor back every second, which is really nice. Once again, you're mainly doing that because just getting within 15 meters of an enemy, you can apply that bleed. So obviously, why not? You're going to want to be getting up close to your enemies, flanking, playing super up close, getting in that sort of aggressive zone. You want to apply that pressure to them, and that's exactly how you do with this build. Going off next to the holster, I am running the named Picaro's holster. This is from the Brazos brand, giving us 10% skill haste, which is going to be nice considering the skills we're running. You do have a lot of options here, but I'll go into that later. It'll always roll with a blue core. I have 6% crit chance roll into here, and I have 15% weapon damage, which is rolled every single time maxed when you get the item. So in order to get Picaro's holster, you can get it from named item caches, Brazos targeted loot, or holster targeted loot. I recommend farming Countdown or Summit. And overall, this is a best in slot for a lot of PvP builds, and in general, just a lot of builds in the game. Picaro's holster is just so good for the fact that you get access to a blue core and a red core at the same time. And by the way, yes, you can roll a yellow core onto here for a skill tier, but you cannot roll a red core onto here. The devs have already talked about this in the past, where it would basically break the game if they could, so it's not happening anytime soon, if not at all. Going off next, I am using a Cheska backpack. I didn't necessarily get the best rolls onto here. You'll probably get better ones than I do. So with the backpack, I get 10% crit chance for that one-piece Cheska bonus. I got 15% weapon damage on here. I get 6% crit hit chance, 12% crit hit damage, and I have a 5% crit hit chance mod. I rolled the talent Wicked onto here. You want to have this talent here so you can buff your overall weapon damage. It's like adding a free red core for just having your talents proc, which is really nice. So with the talent Wicked, applying a status effect increases total weapon damage by 18% for the next 20 seconds. And that applies at any range. So if you do get out of range after hitting someone with the RIDGEWAY'S Pride within 15 meters, you're still going to keep that weapon damage to any target you shoot now, which is really nice. For 20 whole seconds, it's really good. I know there's the Golden Gear backpack. I don't have it in my inventory right now. That does have the option of perfectly wicked, which you could run because the one piece bonus for Golden Gear gives you 10% status effects. So it's gonna buff your bleed a little, make it last longer, make it hit just a little bit harder. But I don't think that's necessary. Once again, just roll double crit, and then after that, you can just roll Wicked onto here. That's typically the best thing you can do. You could run a Grupo backpack. I have one here with Vigilance or whatever, but you can put Wicked on here and you're all good to go because it'll give you that 15% crit damage. It kind of depends what you want to spec more into, but those are your options. Going off next to our gloves. These are the named contractors gloves from the Petrov Defense brand, giving you 10% LMG damage, which is going to buff our Carnage, which is going to be really nice. So along with that, I have a blue core rolled onto here. It'll always roll that 8% damage to armor, and I have crit chance rolled onto here. The main reason you are using these gloves is for that 8% damage to armor, and that's multiplicative damage, which is overall going to drastically increase your weapon damage by 8% for every single bullet you hit. So it's really nice to have. Along with that, you can get this from Petrov targeted loot or glove targeted loot or out of named item caches. I recommend farming Countdown or Summit for this. That's the best way to get it, in my opinion. Going off next to our final gear piece, I am using the Fox's Prayer. These are the named Overlord Armaments knee pads that give you 10% rifle damage. We're not using a rifle here, but that's not the reason why we're running these knee pads. Just like the Contractor's Gloves, it comes with 8% damage to targets out of cover, which is another multiplicative, once again buffing our damage by 8%. I have 12% crit damage rolled into here, and I re-rolled a blue core as the main attribute. It'll always roll with a red core. You just want to keep that in mind. Same thing for the Contractor's Gloves, but this is typically the way you want to have it. And you can just farm, once again, Overlord targeted loot at Countdown or Summit, or from getting it from named item caches, and you are all good to go. Going off onto these skills, I am using the Scanner Pulse. I personally like knowing where my enemies are. With this build, I like to flank, get behind my enemies, and make sure I know where to position myself. So having that intel is really nice. We do get... it says like 18 seconds for PvE cooldown, which does apply to the Dark Zone as well. But in Conflict, you're going to have a 109-second cooldown, where the Picaro's Holster helps with that 10% skill haste from the brand bonus. But obviously, you're not going to have your pulse up all the time. 110 seconds is a long time. But it's just to make sure you know where your enemies are, position yourself properly, and your enemies can see, your allies can see that too. So it's kind of just helping the team out a lot, which is why I like to run it. Along with that, I am running the Defender drone. I can get extra in Conflict. I will get 11% damage reduction because I do have some expertise on here. And then in PvE, you get 21 or almost 22% damage reduction, which is nice. Overall, there are some other options you can run. You can run the Riot Foam Chem Launcher. You can run decoys, so you can get rid of your nameplate. Jammer sticky bombs, right? You have all these options. Stinger hives too. But actually, yeah, because that will apply your bleed and stuff like that. So overall, you do have a lot of options here. This is just what I think is the best. If we go over to the stats, with the St. Elmo's engine, which is probably your main weapon if we're being real here, I have 60% crit chance. And I have 130% crit damage, which is pretty nice. Get the 8% damage to armor, and then 18% damage to targets that are covered. Don't forget about those multiplicatives. Going off onto the Carnage, I got 60% crit chance and 150% crit damage, where I have 14% armor damage, which is really, really, really damn nice. And along with that, I do have 20% damage to targets that I cover. So while you do have lower base damage, right, and I do have a lower crit hit damage here, you will make up for it tenfold with all those multiplicatives from the Carnage LMG. And once again, if you're using the Grudge, it'll be a little bit different. You're probably going to have a little bit more crit damage. You're already maxed on the crit chance, but you're not going to need to worry about that. So if we just head straight over to Conflict, we'll get in a match, and I'll show you how the build plays. Alright, we got a match. Let's go play some Stadium. Pretty good map for this build. So, I'm obviously not going to have like a lot of my other matches. Kind of went on a bit of a rant. If you want to go see that, you can go watch the VOD. It's on my Twitch channel. I typically record my videos through Twitch, so if you ever see me live streaming, I'm probably recording a video. So if you want to drop in, say hi, get included in the video, you can do that. I have my Twitch linked below, so if you want to go watch my VODs, just go over to the videos tab, and you'll probably find it there. But I'm just going to keep repeating it every time like before the video. I want to keep saying it, get in the habit of it. But I really want to say thank you guys so much. We're about to hit 800 subscribers on the channel. I was at 500 a month ago, which is pretty crazy to think about. So we're really getting close to 1,000 subs. A lot of 1,000 people following the channel, watching the vids, right? I know I haven't been uploading in the past week. You know, college stuff, right? Things are a little hectic right now. But we're figuring them out, having some fun. And overall, just living life, you know. So I don't know. Things are gonna get back to normal. I just had a college orientation, so obviously I was pretty prepped throughout the week. You know what I mean? Couldn't really do much. Couldn't really get on the game. So I'm really sorry I didn't leave a notice or like a community post or anything about that beforehand, as that wasn't really like my thought at all. The first thing I was thinking of was like literally like my schooling stuff. So, oh, they are sitting in their spawn. Okay. So yeah, no, sorry. YouTube wasn't what was on my mind at that point in time. So I want to just say sorry for not getting a video out or not saying anything. Okay.
Rogue hive detected.
Got that guy.
Hostile hive detected.
Got another guy here.
Defender drone detected.
There we go. Got him. I wonder why they're sitting in their spawn, or like why they're so far back. Oh, hey, one of our teammates is running ongoing directive. Got some high velocity bullets. Not gonna lie, pretty nice. Oh. Oh! I got him with the bleed! I'm also bleeding. Teammate, save me. Teammate? Please, please, please. Thank you, teammate. I got sidetracked halfway through my spray. Alright, we already swapped spawns, so let's just head over. I'll be making a video after this, because I know I didn't have any time to farm a new build, like make something brand new for you guys. I was planning on doing Hasbro, but I don't have all the Hasbro stat filled out on my Shade Watch, so obviously I didn't want to overcompensate for it.
About to activate.
Ooh, that guy hits very hard. Yo, played up. Oh, we got some friends coming.
Boost now active.
Oh, he had a fucking beefy defender drone there.
Agent incapacitated.
Worked overtime for him. It's alright. We got the boost over here. We're still leading 15-9. I was the only death. A little embarrassing. Maybe not, though, if Heisen dies. Okay, cool. Yeah, there we go. No, the only one. Wow, even with all those headshots, did he have his defender drone again? Let me see, what does this guy have? 10 expertise, nothing crazy. He doesn't have it on his SMG though, on his Lady Death. Optimist, yeah, nothing crazy. I didn't think he'd immediately go for the spawn, so that's just an issue on my part. I should have slowed. I probably could have beat him if I slowed down there, took it easy, but I jumped the gun. I didn't think he noticed. I thought I'd get a cheeky flank off, which is my fault. Alright, so it looks like they're still in the same area. Okay, I don't see him. Where'd they go? Not in the alley. Oh wait, there's a guy far back there. Alright. Got him down. He's running no armor. I don't know if he's running a skill build or a all red build. Right. There we go. We got that guy. Pulse. Flanking, flanking, flanking. Break his shield. They're all running all red builds. They're really desperate.
Alright,
let's get in there. Oh, it's over. Or no, I think they're respawning. I'm assuming they're probably gonna spawn other side. So, since spawns flipped once again, there we go. Yeah. So if any of them go down this time, they're out for good. Don't have my scanner pulse yet, so gonna have to be careful. Make sure they don't jump the gun.
Hostile airburst seeker mine detected.
Alright, no one's here. Alright, well, our teammate's getting that specialization crate. Ooh, didn't for 150k from far back,
Rogue Stinger
which isn't
hive
awful.
detected. Hostile
As far as I got the
Stinger hive
bleed off.
detected. Rogue defender drone detected.
Did he see me? I don't think he saw me.
Hostile defender drone detected.
Well, now we did, and we got him. Let's play it up real quick.
Hostile hive detected.
Got this guy right here, and you're gone too, buddy. Got you right here, and we are done. GG. There we go. Had a nice, fun match there.
Victory is yours. Good job.
So as you can see, with this build, you kind of want to like flank more often. You want to take advantage of your overall extremely high burst damage. As you can see, I was really melting those enemies. Even if they were running all red cores, there were still other ones that overall they couldn't really necessarily compete. Oh, beat him by 15 points there for MVP. 1365, not bad. We had a pretty good game there. If we go over into our damage stats, 19 million damage, not bad. We did have the highest in the lobby. We went 8-2 with 2 assists. Could have done better, but overall it was a lot of fun. I did make some questionable plays, but as you can see, the build does perform pretty well, especially when in the right hands. You just gotta fit that play style. I will be making a video soon, going over the state of the game right now. I think it's more necessarily just like a call to Ubisoft that there are issues, like underlying issues with the game, some fundamental issues with the game that do need to be addressed, and they aren't being addressed, and they haven't been addressed for years. And I think this is going to be the time where at least I can get my voice out for the community, and I hope people in the comments kind of give their thoughts and improvements they want to see for the game, as the only way we can make change and get change out there for our our essentially favorite game is making our voices heard. We know the devs do listen. I know more on Twitter, one of the devs, he's pretty in touch with the community. He does listen and respond a lot to like tweets and stuff like that, but we're just going to be going into that. So I want to thank you guys so much once again for reaching 800 subs. I want to thank you so much for like just watching the videos, commenting your thoughts. It really is nice interacting with you guys all in the comments, giving your thoughts. If there's any way you could improve this build, please leave your thoughts down below. I love reading your suggestions. I do make videos. I do feature comments in videos and stuff like that. So if you want the chance to be featured in another video, go for it. Leave a like on the video, subscribe, turn that bell on so you can get my notifications for whenever I do upload. And other than that, I want to thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I will see you all later.